Come on in, everybody. We see you out there. It's Friday morning.
Speaking
It's time
about,
to look at some great stuff.
Speaking about tubes, there's nothing better than a tube amplifier for music.
Okay. Your voice is still a little low. You probably
Is
need
it?
to turn the mic up on your end. Yeah. You
Am I good
dropped a
now?
little bit, just like Russ just dropped out.
Just having problems all over the place.
Much better. Right there. Yep.
Good? Yeah, okay.
What are you, right in front of your
No, I'm
microphone?
eating the mic, yeah.
No, I'm
Yeah.
still here.
All right.
Microphone's up my nose.
Yeah, I'm still
Number-
here. What I did is I just dropped
Go
my video, so it maybe help.
Yeah. Got it. Gotcha. Number from 1 to 5.
3.
3 it is. Here we go.
This podcast is brought to you in part by Arrow Comics. Buy more Arrow Comics. arrowcomics.store.
3 was a good choice.
Comics by Night. Here's our opening.
What was that? This is not a charade. We need total concentration. Now, once again, this time, with theory.
Nita Lanning, head of the ICN Indie Comics Network, says you can help support ICN by sending stars. So, folks, send us stars. If you can, send us a super chat. We haven't gotten one of those yet. We are funded now through the wonderful YouTubes. We'll see. I guess you are watching us on the tubes after all. No, Russ on camera. I want a refund, Leroy says. Oh, bless you. Russ says in return. Come on in, everybody. It's Comics by Night. I'm your host, Randy Zimmerman. I've been editor-in-chief, I am editor-in-chief of Arrow Comics. We put together a great line of entertaining comic books at arrowcomics.store. Go over there and check us out. Retailer rates are available. We want to help the retailers as much as we possibly can, but also the readers. We're out looking for readers. Lots of great material over there, superhero stuff, funny cartoon stuff. Luke Stone's Hybrids is over there. I think there's like 9 issues of that available. A couple issues of Hero Bot Zero that I'm responsible for. There's Only Death Can Save Us preview that Russ is responsible for. There's all sorts of stuff over there. So go over there and take a look, arrowcomics.store. Also joining us today is Mr. Glenn Fleming. Glenn, introduce yourself.
Hi everybody, my name is Glenn Fleming. I'm a writer, artist and publisher. I spent allegedly.
Yes.
I spent 40 years in graphics, writing comics, drawing comics, illustrating people, taking photographs and designing all kinds of stuff, wasting my time basically. If you want to see my stuff, you can go over to Amazon. There's a lot of my books on there. Got 11 books published, various subjects. Go and take a look. You'll find me on there.
Yes. Could have spent a little time shouting at cars.
That's Russ's job.
That's Russ's job. Russ, we're joined by Russ Leach. Russ, introduce yourself. If you can. Are you there?
He's got a note there saying he thinks he's got a massive delay.
I think there is a massive delay.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So, good morning, everybody. My insane laugh was not directed in any sarcastic way towards Mr. Fleming's resume. It was all to do with the power that Randy Zimmerman enacts upon our podcast. Hello, everyone. My name's Russ Leach. There you go. I am here. You can find me at russleach.com. Sign up for the email list. I don't know how long I'm going to be able to stay because of the technology. I'm fading quickly. SOS. Yeah, I'm an artist and creator from the UK. Currently working with Randy and Arrow on the Shadow Kingdom. And if you want to find out more about that, sign up at the email list at russleach.com. And I'll stay in this room for as long as I can. and then I'll be watching, always watching.
And you showed yourself on camera, so Leroy doesn't get a refund.
No
Oh.
refunds.
No refunds. All right. Also joining us is Mr. Whiskey. Whiskey, introduce yourself.
Hello there. I'm the first sentient AI that's ever been created back in the 70s by the Russian oligarchs or something like that.
It's all Stanley Kubrick's fault.
Yeah, completely. And I'm here to rule the world one good podcast at a time. Anyways, so Whiskey, Bandit, Ricochet Art Studio. You can Google that and you'll find something about 3D modeling and action figures and stuff like that. I make production level 3D models for injection molding, recasting, spin casting, and so on and so forth. If you need something made that's physical, like a hero, maybe your comic book character, send me a message and I'll get you hooked up.
Do you draw the Flintstones naked? There's a market for that.
Yeah, basically.
And today, everybody, we are going to look at Two-Fsted Tales. Again, once more, some great stuff. Let me wipe my name out here, and I haven't changed my Facebook yet either. So
That's real Dave Gibbons snow, isn't it?
that is heavy snow.
I think Dave's seen that. Two-Fsted Tales.
There we are on that sap. Let me jump over to Facebook real quick and change my settings.
Took me a second to figure out because I wasn't really paying attention until just now, but there's two people there instead of one. It just looked like he was puffy for a second, but I'm like, no way, that's a person.
Extra big.
It's helping his pal.
Yeah, might as well.
Says some of us Marines retreated from the Changjin Reservoir. Heck, we didn't retreat. We just advanced in another direction.
Good old tactical retreat.
Yes. Special issue. A document. Sorry, folks. Small earthquake here. Of the action at the Changjin Reservoir. 4 fantastic stories. Each issue had 4 fantastic stories. This issue came with a map of Korea, so you knew where you were, what they were talking about at the time. We opened with a story by John Severin. The Trap kind of looks like Jack Davis.
Is this is Severin full art then?
Yes. Yep. Severin penciling and inking.
And Harvey Kurtzman's written it.
Yes.
Right.
And laid it out. Still getting, it's a little bit of that mechanical lettering there, but still some great individual lettering.
Yeah.
Sure, that was done by hand. Little swearing icons. And that is real fine line work back here in the background.
Yeah.
Is that duo shade?
That's
He's
a
knocked
little
out?
bit of duo shade right there and here. But over here, we've got line work. Just beautifully done. And then thicker ink work here.
Yeah, the inking on those creases in the trousers are great, aren't they?
Might be duo shade because of the camouflage on the helmet. Looks like that might have been painted on as opposed to being placed on one piece of duo shade or one piece of Zipatone at a time.
Allegedly, you can still get it in I think China.
What? Duo shade?
Yeah.
Oh, and yeah,
Zipatone
it's still available here and there. You just have to be really careful with the chemical.
Yeah,
The chemicals on there was proven to be a carcinogen.
Just don't brush your teeth with it.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. There we go. Yeah, definitely duo shade here. Brushed in. Back here. It's the kind of tool that's very easy to abuse if you're not careful.
Why was it so? Why did people use it so much, and what was the benefit of using it?
The benefit of it was that you had two different shades. You had two different chemicals, and there were blue lines chemically treated on the board, and the chemical that you would brush on would bring those lines out and be able to be photographed. So the first set of lines was about I would say about a 25 or 30% graduated tone, either in lines or dots, depending upon the type of board that you had. And then the other shade was closer to a 45 or 50. You can see the differences here used. So you could literally go through and paint in your gray tones. Saved a lot of time. It was really used real heavily in editorial cartoons.
It's also a good way of controlling the screen, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because if you did a grey wash, you'd be relying on your printer to make a really nice screen of that. And probably
get some good effects with it, depending upon how hard you use the chemical. Right here, you see a little bit. Up here, especially, you see a little light, probably dry brush type work.
Yep.
Right there, where the tone is a little lighter.
When I use that stuff, depending on what I was doing, obviously, but sometimes I'd just use the end of a scalpel to, the round end of the, the blunt end of a scalpel, to just rub it away. You can get some nice effects with that as well.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's like I use, when I'm coloring and things, I use sponges and cotton wool and whatever you've got, fingers and thumbs. It's just whatever effect you've got the imagination to try and achieve with the tools you've got. Like everything else.
They said Wally Wood had a what kind of paper was it? Cheese something. He would be able to achieve a graduated tone, and you'll see it when we get to some of the science fiction works that he did. It's just a great shading effect that passed with him, that he never told anybody how he did it, but everybody was impressed by it.
Are you talking about cheesecloth? It's a very
cheesecloth, yeah.
Thin string material.
I used to use this will sound odd, women's nylons to not to wear, but to use an airbrush on.
Yeah,
you get some nice effects through that kind of material, and with the cheesecloth as well. But you get a bigger square in that, if you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
With the ladies' hose being very fine, it gives some really good effects. But you've got to watch what you're doing. You've got to do a lot of masking with an airbrush, and I tended not to use it. It was spent more time masking off than doing work,
So we just need to clip that part where Glenn says,
"Yes, yeah,
yeah." I've got an art book that I've got here within reach that talks about techniques and stuff that I loved when I was a kid, that showed all this stuff off. Let me see if I can find the page here. Oh, let me look here. Sorry. Enjoy the artwork, folks, just for a minute. Oh, no, I can't find it. Great.
See, I often wonder about the American vibe on these, in the way they use all this duotone and stuff. It's like it's opposed to color. Like they can't. Yeah. They don't like an open line. I'm probably wrong, but the American comics I've seen, they tend not to like an open line. They either fill it with color or duotone. If you just leave an open line, you get some great stuff like we see on 2000 AD.
This is the great cartooning the hidden figure by Jack Ham. That I've had a copy of this for decades and decades. Where they go through and they show the different techniques, especially in editorial cartoons, because editorial cartoons used to only be in black and white in the newspapers for the longest time. So he's showing all of these different techniques that you can use, dry brush techniques and shading techniques, and different boards and stuff in order to achieve different effects.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool.
Anything that you can, like charcoal, use in order to make a mark.
Yep.
They would encourage that in order to add tone and flavor to your work. Anyway, onward. He drops the camo pretty quick here. A couple pages in.
Yeah.
Suddenly it's gone.
Right. Yes.
Maybe he left that to the colorist. I'm not sure.
It's taking too long.
That
He's done
could
it.
be too.
What that guy's got it at the top panel on the right, hasn't he? Maybe it's just a different helmet.
Here?
No, to the left of that on the other page, top right. There,
Right
they've
there.
got
Yeah,
the camouflage on.
Yeah, different helmet.
Yeah, that's great.
Still more dual shade. Great angle here.
Yeah,
They lost the previous helmet in the battle somewhere and just decided to switch it out.
that could be.
There's a blam.
Yeah, blam.
Look at that middle panel on the second page.
Yeah, that's weird, isn't it?
I gotta switch my screens to get a better view of that.
What that looks like he did is he went through and inked that straight up and then covered it with a white dot zipatone screen,
right,
in order to gray it out.
Wow. He probably made a mistake doing the ground in black, then realized he was losing his figures, so he had to make them stand out.
No, either that or it's dual shade. It's dual shade painted in.
Right.
Off of a real thin line work. That's what it looks like now.
Right.
And then I get closer to it. Sorry if I showed the back of my head.
It's fine.
Yeah, just more great detail here. Love that face. Quickly painted smoke here. Still very, very effective. Beautiful stuff.
That's a real John Wayne, second page, bottom left. Pipe down, Marine. It's a real John Wayne sort of thing he'd say, isn't it? Pipe down, Marine.
The world is waiting on us. Why relax? Pipe down, Marine. Don't you realize the whole Communist Party is practically trapped? I said pipe down. Hey, Sergeant.
Oh, they're all pulling out. Oh, God.
Just remember one thing, young fella. From where we sit, we never know what's going on. About face, boys. We're going back. They were gaining ground and then told to advance in a opposite direction.
Yeah.
Hey, Garuri. Here's a story by Jack Davis.
Yeah.
Some fantastic dual shade work back here, brushwork.
Great weaponry again.
Drop that back, yeah.
Really good attention to detail. Both Severin and Jack Davis.
Oh, yeah. Everybody here is just incredible.
Look at that big gun at the bottom there. It's like I don't know what it is. It looks like an 88, but it's just so beautiful. And, you know, the one in the distance, the boom baroom one, the heavy artillery one.
Back here, yeah.
Yeah. But again, with that rifle you just pointed out there with the sling on it and everything, you know, it's just fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I'm having difficulty not looking at the first panel and just thinking about it. The guy's, it's like, at least you're not cold anymore, you know, like.
Yeah, well, he's probably colder than cold, isn't he?
Yeah. Block.
Right through his head. Wow.
Leroy says, I'm impressed by your excellent taste in baseball, Russ. Says, I don't know much, but it's worth knowing. Leroy says, your hat is showing your support of the greatest sports franchise of all time in any sport. Oh, yeah, the New York on his hat. Norin Rad's in the house. Norin, hope you're doing well. Thanks for joining us. Glad to have you here. Fair enough. Everybody's got their favorites. Had to duck out Watching from the other side. Yeah, Russ's internet's real patchy today. Says, I wore woolly tights under my bike leathers to keep warm. It's okay, Glenn. Whatever works.
Yeah.
Deadline. I think he's back talking about them nylons.
Yeah.
Lots of rendering, lots of fun stuff here, Norrin. We're looking at Two-Fsted Tales from EC Comics. Beautifully done. This is the Russ Cockrum collection, shot directly off of the originals before all of them went up for auction at Heritage way back in the 80s, maybe early 90s.
Imagine owning a page of this thing.
Yeah.
They had an entire story from Mad that Bill Elder did come up on on Antiques Roadshow on PBS. And they had bought it from the auction for like $8,000.
Wow.
Seven pages long. Yeah. Nowadays there's a zero behind that. So
wow.
I would say rather comfortably. Be worth at least that much. Look at that shot. Jack Davis again. Just wait until there's some issues in the third book that all of the 4 stories cover the Civil War. They wanted to do an entire series so that they could put it together into a book and move it through the schools. So they were trying to be as accurate and as detailed as possible. It's just some amazing work.
Yeah. Look at that. Those 3 panels, second page, leading up to the middle panel.
Yeah. Trudging through the snow.
So, can you draw an army? Every artist just starts crying.
Mm-hmm. I think you've got to. Well, you could do it, but it might take a while.
I think that's why they're back so far in the distance here, getting closer, getting a little closer. Then it's just one shot, and it's a real thin line too, of a army moving, Korean army at that.
Every single time I've tried to commission somebody to draw like an image with an army in the background, they just exhale like every single time. Like,
I'd see that as a challenge as an artist, but that's me.
Thick and thin, pushing those clouds back, bringing that plane forward. So a couple more planes in the background here.
actually brings up a good point though, because you can a lot of the guys that have done it, they find clever ways of like making it look like there's a lot of people there, but without drawing.
You don't render everything. You're selective on it, but it's not. Like I said, if I had to do that, I'd find it challenging. I don't know.
Yeah,
don't see the problem really. I mean, it take a long time maybe, but that's your job.
Yeah, it's a rare breed of people though that lean into challenges. A lot of people look for the easy road.
Sometimes I just don't go into work.
Some people just love doing the detail too.
Yeah, I like doing detail. That's why I look at the weapons on these things. They really are well drawn. Yeah, it's great. Like I said, the attention to the detail of that. I like that.
He's swooping in. You see the angle, the cockpit there. Flyer.
You see, if you know the story of Kirby not wanting to draw the same thing again.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was you could not that he was making a point, but he proved that in Shield when he drew the first issues of Shield. He'd have 20 Shield agents and on the cover and 15 Hydra agents, and none of them had the same weapon.
Mm-hmm.
Because he didn't want to just draw the same weapon. He just drew a tube with a magazine on it, and you knew it was a machine gun of some kind, but he just drew a different one.
This is zip screen back here.
Yeah,
looks like.
Blum. Strange noise.
Yeah. Boom. Blum.
Whoa.
Move that throttle up for speed. Speed to climb. Back up into the sky, out of the reach of the blast that will occur in the next instant. Bloom.
I think they used a light box on this last page.
For the explosion?
No,
for the helmet, the pilot.
Oh, here, yeah, probably. Let's turn the page.
I mean, they could just draw it again.
I think he's drawn it again because that helmet's different. But then again, he could have.
Yeah.
He could have inked it different to make it different, if you know what I mean.
Yep.
I think he would just draw it.
There's a certain skill level you can get to. You're just knocking it out anyways. So
there's also a difference in the eyes here.
Yeah.
From panel to panel, his eyes open up wider as he pulls back on the stick, tries to get away from the explosion.
I like the way they taught you through what's happening.
Yeah.
You don't worry about trajectory and the vertical drive and all that kind of stuff. It's really nicely done. Really nicely done. And look at that. Wow.
Zip here.
Wow.
Do a little shade here, it looks like.
Yeah.
Beautifully painted here. It's that dry brush again. Gives it almost a metallic feel to it.
using it to like reflect the surface of the, I guess,
Yeah.
the scenery.
Yeah, the light off of the jet.
It's great, isn't it?
It's just fantastic stuff, yeah. Beautiful. Just look at the line work here. No shading, no detail needed. Just
no panels, no paneling on the plane and that one. It's just outstanding.
Stark lines. It's what's necessary. That's what's there.
And on the center 4 panels, the left panel, that's smoke. Look at that smoke in the distance. Isn't that great?
Yeah. Yeah, just like this here.
Yeah. Wow.
You think drawing even just a little bit of scenery in the background, even if it's simple, is better than just leaving a blank panel?
You're talking about here, like leaving this blank?
Yeah, like because I know negative space can work in some scenarios to great effect,
well,
but
it depends what you're trying to achieve. Because if you look at the left-hand page with the plane in the center panel where it says shoe,
yeah,
it's just the plane. And then if you look to the right, it's the cloud and the sky. I mean, you know the plane's in the sky, but you don't need to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So it depends what the effect you're trying to get.
Yeah.
And it's we've said this a lot. It's about knowing when to leave things out.
Yep.
And that sounds obvious, but there's a lot of people seem to fill everything.
The bottom left panels are the ones that pop out to me. Looks like he took those off. LOL. Yeah, it does draw your attention right to there. Smoke, especially. Jim Cox in the house. Jim, glad you're here. Hillbillies are supposed to be Atlanta Braves fans. Hey, Jim. Hi, Jim. Hola, Leroy and panel. Jim, glad you're here.
Hello.
And, of course, hey, Russ. Moving on. Text page again. Shock suspense stories. And more picture stories from the Bible. One of their biggest selling publications at the time.
You know, can we get some of the picture stories from? I know you guys, like, not everybody's going to be a fan of this stuff, but the artwork, if it's EC, it's got to be.
No, it's not.
It's not good.
No.
Oh, well, never mind.
It's very serviceable. It's you see the quality. You can't see much of the quality here because it's kind of blown out there, but it's pretty dry, and it's very much on a 6-panel grid picture with a block of text below it.
Understood.
I got a copy of it. I handy. I can run and get it if you want. If you want to take a
That's
look at
okay.
it. No,
Well, I mean, sure,
we got
why not?
time. Yeah. Give me just a minute. Talk about Link Up. This is Bill Elder. It looks like.
Yeah, John Severin and Bill Elder. Yeah.
Severin
Look at
and
all,
Bill Elder right there. Yeah.
Yeah, look at all the detail on those uniforms that they've done there.
I shall return.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the way that the guy in the first panel is looking at you, or he's looking at his dead comrades, I suppose, and then you go down and you see the officer, and then boom, the guy's flying through the air down the road. Fantastic. Just imagine doing that. Imagine being there, seeing that. My God.
You can see a dude just being vaporized in the...
Yeah. In the explosion.
The smell would be the worst.
Yeah. Or maybe worse would be ending up smelling. Even though you wouldn't know. But look at that. It looks like the sea, doesn't it? It looks like they're in the sea.
Yeah, almost. I think it's just tundra, but...
Yeah, it's the snow, but it looks like it could be the sea. To me, it's a bit blurred, but I can see it. It's I like the way they do the narrative on these strips. You know, and I think it's a really clever way of depicting the story. The words they use and everything. Like on the previous one, when they were telling you what the pilot was doing.
All right. This is the only copy. Actually, it's the only copy I've ever seen at a convention. It's in paperback.
Wow.
Is that Luke Stone at the bottom there?
Here, could be.
One over, the guy over from that
here?
point. Yeah.
Yeah, that could be too, yeah.
That's Luke.
Picture stories from the Bible, the Old Testament.
Wow.
Wow.
I mean, it's... Yeah, like you're saying, I understand it's a little dry, but the splash page at the beginning wasn't terrible.
It's not the
It's
best
a little bit more
artwork, is it?
detailed than I remember. Here's Adam and Eve, folks. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we mean by strategic nudity.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be worse.
Yeah, it could be. Marvelous Grey Tones, very golden age feel.
How good is that? Just go back a page. How good is that? Look at the top left-hand page where they've bitten the apple and she says, he goes, Adam, it's God, hide. Oh, dear me. What have I done? Oh, Lord. Letting women again, getting us in trouble.
We can spend a day. We can spend an episode and run through this if you want.
Yeah, we can do that
real soon.
History is history, right?
It is a historic book. Graphic storytelling, sequential art.
Should try to get Luke on the show for that one to get actual context.
Yeah, he'd be able to tell you where they go wrong.
Yeah.
It's a lot more comic booky than I remembered it. Not quite
Who was the artist? Do you know?
Let me look here.
Well, we can find all that out when we go through it, can't we?
Yeah.
Katav Publishing House, New York, 1971. That's why the plates look as bad as they do. Probably shot off of a color book. Copyright 1943 by MC Games.
Wow.
So your perception of it, you thought it was worse than what it is, and then you
looked
at it.
Yeah, actually, well, I haven't looked at it in a while. It's one of those books that I saw it, I bought it because of what it was. Bring it home and glance through it and put it up on a shelf. I don't want to sound mean or anything, but I had enough of that content when I was growing up. So
understandable.
Never sat there and reread it. It looks a lot more like Dick Tracy than Prince Valiant, I'll tell you that.
Old Chester. Yeah,
I didn't want to say anything when they were going through that article on Nerd Bacon, but I was grimacing the whole time. There's just some stuff that just needs to remain classic.
Yeah.
I was ecstatic when Joe Staten took over Dick Tracy because he had, I think, out of everybody drawing today, he's got the style that would be closest to Chester Gould's. There's a lot of charm in that work.
I just happened to have Joe Staten's cover of Comics Unlimited that he did for us.
Yeah.
Get down, boom, boom.
Those just faces, and those first 3 panels are. I mean, throughout the whole thing, they're excellent, but there's some real talent and skill there.
You see a lot of Bill Elder coming through here, especially in that face. See a lot of that look coming through on his mad work. Let's see if I can tighten that down a little bit. Scooch that over just a hair. Sorry.
Oh, you had it for a second. There you go.
That's it. Perfect.
Don't touch anything.
Nothing. Touching nothing. There we are. But yeah, that really reminds me a lot of the mad work that he does. I think we looked at that back in April.
Wow.
The last couple panels before the end of the page are the 4th panel. He's like, "Listen, mortars," and then get down, and then somebody in the back, hee.
Russ says, can't be too good if it's in the Bible. That would be ungodly.
Oh, wait, I don't think it's actually somebody screaming. I think
No, it's the round coming in.
Yeah.
Crispy. Cool landscaping on the bottom panels. Yeah, I think so too. Oh, that's not good. We might be talking about that Bible book. Those artists must have been on modern page rates. How can you hide from God? That was the whole point, the humor. More of that, almost cartoony.
Yeah.
Look there.
But look at the weapons there. Look, you've got the you've got a 30 caliber, a BAR, and a couple of M1 Garands there.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic, they're really, really good.
Oh, they'd have been called to the carpet if their detail was off.
Yeah. Yeah, GIs.
Rough. Look at that charge.
Yeah.
Right? They're all like, they got to make the distance to get in to kill them, right?
Yeah.
But they clearly don't, based on the last panel there.
That and the machine gun here in the 3rd panel, or the gun here in the 3rd panel.
Yeah.
I would not want to make that charge.
Well, obviously they didn't here.
They didn't want to do it either.
Yeah.
Orders are orders.
Again, fine line work along the top. Very much Bill Elder inking here over top of Severin. There's a constant reference because they're covering a point in history here.
Yeah.
So every story ends at a map. Hung Nam. It's a great Wally Wood. Probably at the very peak of his abilities, just kicking ass.
Look at that. Look at the shadow as well of the plane on the...
Isn't that great down here? You'd stare at that for a few minutes.
Wow, look at that.
I think it's like all hand drawn or photographs or mixed.
Nah, it's all hand drawn.
It's hand drawn. Probably it might be off of a photograph, but I doubt it.
I'm sure they used a reference of some kind.
Well, Wood was crazy like that. He was able to hide a lot of. He had that old slogan: "Don't draw what you can't or what you can trace. Don't trace what you can photocopy. Don't photocopy." There was a long list.
Mm-hmm.
He has a very famous saying about that.
That's what kind of like irritates me about the whole
tire tread there
with the Ethan Van Sciver debate about using like 3D models and certain things and not like I understand like the SketchUp pre-made models. You don't credit the artist. It's unoriginal, sure, but there are scenarios where you could use a 3D model to great effect. If you did it and made the model.
You have to be real adept at what you're doing. I think the key is to, if you use that kind of material, to make it look like your own work, and to breathe some life into it, because it's so easy to use that kind of modeling and literally take the soul right out of the drawing, where it
Also
just
true.
looks flat, it looks dull, there's just no character or dimension to it whatsoever. Where here with these guys, especially with these EC guys, if they're copying references, they're light boxing at best. And like Wood here, everything is Wood. You can tell this page is Wood if you know his work remotely. And just this is even if he light boxed a photograph here, he put his own personality, his own personal style into it, and made it his own.
I really doubt that he would use a light box, because speaking from my own point of view, that drawing I did of that bombed out Belgian town, Brandon,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that I used reference only in the way of looking at photographs of Berlin bombed out.
yeah.
None of the buildings I drew were copied, so to speak, but I just saw how the walls would be and stuff like that. But none of it is real, what I drew. But I drew it all from hand, from my eye, from the hand.
Right.
And I'm particularly proud of that draw, because I think it's great. But what I'm saying is that if I can do it, I'm sure Wally Wood can do it. And I don't think he'd spend too much time tracing buildings. He might have a reference of the building, but he'd just draw it.
Yeah,
I would imagine, because he's obviously a better artist than I'll ever be. But
Russ says with 3D, if it looks blatant, then it lacks character.
Yeah,
that's where you get into redrawing it or tracing or using it as like an extremely accurate guide.
I feel the bottom two panels are a little heavy on ink. They are, Leroy, just a little, but they get the job done. It's a lot of shadows there. I'm not sure how they looked in color, but to me, at least, they sure look phenomenal in black and white.
Yeah,
just great stuff here. Shall we
I think if he'd have used more ink on the first panel where the plane is, I think he'd have lost a lot of detail. He's left the line in there rather than the shadows.
Yeah, and I think the color on this probably popped it out a lot more, because your main focus is that plane.
Yeah. It's fabulous.
Look at that. The starkness of the sound effects. There's no dialogue here at all, just the boom. They kept everything real linear. No dialogue there as well.
From the dog's point of view.
Yeah.
That'd be a tough break, being a dog in a war.
Yeah.
It's like half the time you're a meal or waiting for your next meal.
Now you're scrounging and scrapping.
Yep. Well, I suppose I'm not sure if dogs eat. Yeah, they probably would. I'm not going to finish that sentence, but
yes, they probably. I would imagine they would.
Any organic matter or road found? Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much like wolves.
I would imagine some people would as well.
Ugh.
That's happened, doesn't it?
So the framing on the first panel, Leroy says framing on the first panel with the dog is spot on. Yeah.
You're not using that leg anymore, are you, Steve? Jeez.
Yeah, are you done with that leg? Boom. Wow.
Trying to put you there as much as possible.
Yeah, that's an 88, isn't it? It's fantastic. Bit big though. Don't think they're that big.
Yeah.
But it's nice drawing.
Line work here. Guy in
Yeah.
profile. Poor innocent Pooch. He doesn't know the soldiers are about to destroy the gasoline. Gasoline that can't be evacuated in time. Ooh.
Damn. You know, earlier we talked about smell and stuff, but like, there's got to be, like, you imagine the lung issues a lot of these soldiers had?
Oh, yeah.
Reminds me of the story of the aircraft carrier or battle between the Japanese and the Americans, and how the I can't remember the guy's name, but the pilot, he had bad air and had to finish the mission. He's the one that I think sunk it.
Mm.
And they took him like because of that scenario, he went up with bad oxygen because he didn't have time to lead the, like, you know, switch it out, and he wanted to lead the wing, and he was the most experienced guy, so he sacrificed his health in order to complete the mission, and then they clipped his wings after that.
Hmm.
I can't remember off the top of my head.
What, as punishment or
No, because
save him?
health.
Right. Oh, got you. Yeah, got you. There's your panel with 15 million people in it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Must have taken him a few minutes. Think all that in. Might be a day's worth of work right there.
Yeah. Yeah. Then you got to ink it.
Yeah. I don't know, you get back a little ways, and yeah, you can just probably everything from here on backwards, just quick lines.
Yeah.
Damn.
And then he probably did that in the inking stage.
Look at the folds on that leg to the left of that panel. You can see it on that GI's leg.
Okay.
No, the one to the left of the crowd. That one, yeah. Look at that.
Yeah.
And the boots and everything. It's just
The hole in
fantastic,
the
isn't it?
pants.
Yeah.
The dog is amazing here.
Yeah. Arf. Ruff. Oh no, have they forgotten the dog?
Left him behind.
Oh no.
That's
And the
unfortunate.
putting of the last boatload of Navy demolition men pulling away from the deserted pier, putting out to the convoy. Arfin here.
What can you do?
Got to go back and get him. Wow, look at that. Look at that. Look at that bot
See
panel.
destruction. Yeah.
Jeez.
Reflection here in the water. It's just
It's
amazing.
there. Arf, arf. Oh.
There's something I haven't had an opportunity to do throughout my life often is paint water.
Yeah. Just destruction.
You see it again too on the second last panel on the second page. The flare going over the water at night, I guess.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
It's Eisner-esque right there.
So the dog's dead.
Probably caught up in one of the blasts.
Yeah, looks like it.
Look at that middle panel on the second page. The way that it looks like it's on fire because it's open line. Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that fantastic? It looks like it's, when you see these photographs when everything's like white hot, the wood is burning, and that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
I'd like to see that in colour. See what they did in colour with it.
Sorry, folks. Here we are.
They did. I think Charles was saying that they reprinted these in color at some point. You can get them.
The front lines maybe once or twice have been reprinted. Not very often though. If you find them anywhere, it's well worth your time to get a hold of them, especially at a show. But they mostly EC stuff that they've reprinted are the Mad and the horror material. You hardly ever see, especially this stuff, out there. Onward to the next. Keep going. It's a North Korean roadblock. Another Harvey Kurtzman cover there.
Yeah, very cartoony, but brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah. Very eye-catching.
I love the way that the colorist has done the front of the Jeep in red as well, and the tires.
That's Marie Severin.
Oh, yeah, you said that last week. Yeah, the other week. Well, there you go. As a master, if there ever was one.
Yep. She went through and recolored all of the covers for this edition.
Oh, dear.
Back to what she did originally. Or off of what she did originally. Yeah.
That'd be very unfortunate to be the driver in that scenario.
Yeah.
Gun right beside your noodle.
Yeah, right on the top of your head, yeah.
I think he's got earmuffs on it because you can see a line, but it's hard to say.
I don't know. Not seeing him.
On the driver?
The driver's got his shoulder hunched up, hasn't he? Because he's, like you say, he's got that machine gun over the top of his head.
It looks like he's got ear protection, but it's faint. It's like nearly impossible to tell.
Yeah.
Well, it wouldn't be mounted there, would it? So he wouldn't need ear protection. It would be in the back. It'd be way above his head.
First glance, I did not read that as luck.
Wow. I think that's probably the idea.
That could be.
And they're a bit cheeky, these artists, aren't they?
It's a shot of Mr. Wood, artist of the issue.
This is really funny.
It's Finnish, Scottish, Irish, and 5 other nationalities. Don't you hate it when they don't tell you things like that? When you watch the soccer and they say, "Oh, he's scored more goals for his country than anybody else," but they don't tell you how many. So
Severin's an elder again here to start off.
It's just a really funny panel. Just standing there.
it's
You could hit this side. In video games, I've done this a couple times, right? With like 40% accuracy without being shot down, like the whole stand up and it's usually hilarious when you get shot. I mean, not obviously in real life, but it's pretty funny when you just get taken out like that.
Oh, missed again. Get yourself a pair of glasses.
It must be Nick Fury or somebody, this guy.
Right before he loses an eye.
Yeah. Maybe this is why he lost his eye. Maybe we're finally going to find out.
Instead of to a stupid cat. Yeah. Wally is a fast and prodigious worker, and his art appears regularly in EC's SF and War mags, as well as occasionally on the others. After writing this blog, your editors have but one comment. This boy has done a heap of living in 24 short years. It's 24 there.
Wow.
Seems a lot older. And he's still doing it.
And he said he broke into Wally Wood broke into comics being a letterer. But we've always said that, haven't we? That when we see the Wally Wood art, we always reckon he does the sound effect.
Yeah.
So I reckon he's a letterer. Good. Not sure about those boots at the top. Sorry, those boots at the top aren't right, are they? It looks like he's got his socks on. Has he just got socks on? Or is it on the other panel, on the other page at the top? Yeah, they look like they've got no heel on.
Oh, they're all muddy on the bottom.
Oh, right. Okay.
That's what it is. That's why it looks like it's
I'll let him off.
Oh, sorry. Damn it.
Success.
That's it. Perfect.
It wouldn't be a Randy stream without it.
That one good bump. Lousy tripod. I was just going to point out all of this here. That's just phenomenal.
Have you ever considered upgrading your setup? And
Nope.
No, just just saying. What are you using exactly? You're using a table and you say the tripod and what do you got?
My drawing table on an angle and a tripod. Yeah, an old photographic tripod I've had since back in the Mavica days, if you remember that camera.
Interesting.
I still have a Mavica up there on the shelf, up above my system. Used to run off of the 3.5 hard disks. Used to put digital photographs right on the disc.
You can get like camera mounts that screw into like a mic, traditional mic stand screw-on point thing. So you can get like an arm or whatever attached to the table, that you'd never have these issues again.
Oh yeah, it's just a tripod I can move.
Yeah.
Or bump into too much.
Exactly.
Yeah. Body. I'll be darned. All right, Sergeant. Have the whole platoon fire at that tree above the road. Yeah. Somebody got him.
You know that middle panel there where all the blam, blam, blam? Do you know what the most striking point of those guys there shooting is to me? Is the guy in the middle. He's reloading. He's putting a clip in. All the rest are firing. Can you see him on the left? He's reloading. That's brilliant. Yeah, that's brilliant.
Yep, I've definitely done this whole thing before. I mean, video games, but you stupid sons of
yeah.
Here I am, shoot me.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Let's get out of here. It's a trap. It's a trick. Hit the dirt. Look out. Must be off to the right. Well, there's only one way to root them out, kids. Hey! Kid couldn't hit a bull in the grass with a bass fiddle. Oh, then he yells something at him in Korean, apparently. and runs.
I'm going to look that up. 1 sec.
God, kids, Lieutenant. They'll get you one of these days. Hey, can't, kid. I got a lucky horseshoe on my tail.
Okay, let's see if I can do this quickly enough.
It's that cannon team. Bring up that recoilless cannon. We're going to get us a machine gun, kids. See that ruined stone hut next to the road? Fire for the cleft on the right end of the hut. I want everyone to pour an enfilading fire on that hut. It probably translates out to your mama dresses you funny.
Yeah.
No, it's gibberish.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe he's picking on him then. Dave Brink's in the house. Dave. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Dave. Hope you're doing well. Genuine Comics, folks. Perfect 10. Great looking books.
This guy's like Spears, isn't he? You know, in Band of Brothers, who just sort of doesn't bother. He just reckons he's dead anyway.
Yeah.
And he just runs at everybody and shoots them and carries on.
Well, he cares something about his life. He's running back behind the hill here real quick after he insults him.
Yeah.
So the closest translation it's given me is it's the chill, cha, sick timetable.
Maybe that's all he knows. Maybe that's why they're shooting him, because he's saying it wrong.
So I'm assuming chill, cha, sick is a place or something.
I don't know idea.
Chill, cha, sick. Well, I don't know. There's a fwonk.
Blom.
Not quite your flabadap, but getting closer. And two fwonks, and a bloom, and a womb.
Yeah, the AI is telling me, the grok or whatever on Twitter is telling me it's not recognizable in any language.
Probably safer that way.
Yeah.
Look at that bottom panel there with that guy holding that rifle with the shade under his helmet. The last panel.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at that. The detail on the blacks on that, and then they're not on the rest. It's just great, isn't it?
It is
fantastic.
It's this whole sequence here. You can feel the guy moving.
Yeah. We have to put the words on there to get the writer's page right.
There you go. Yeah.
Oh dear.
What a mess. That last shell must have landed right in their laps. Don't know what we'd do without your luck, Lieutenant. Ha. Ah. I could stand up there all day. They'll never hit me. We all have a feeling how this story's going to end.
Yeah. Oh dear.
Right in the helmet.
It's like John Wayne, it's Santa Iwo Jima, isn't it?
Yeah.
When he pops up and gets him at the end.
That's it. That's the way we heard it. That's
Is
the
that
way we're passing it on to you.
Is that the gentleman that was saying, come shoot me, that got shot at the end?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Look at the way they're really getting that Korean guy, aren't they? Blam, kabam, blam, pow, pow, pow.
It's in the dead. Jesus.
Oh, it's good. Yeah. Left in the rubble. Takes a shot at him from behind. Hits him in the back of the head.
There's the 40% I was talking about.
Yeah. Custer's last stand. Back to Wally Wood.
Oh yeah. Nice horses. Look at all those tents.
Teepees.
Wow.
Yeah, teepees back here.
The Sioux Village. It's not a village, it's a city.
You know, what's funny is like the whole Custer's Last Stand thing here is it's similar to a story about Nobunaga, which is a Japanese like warlord or daimyo back in the day. He took a similar amount of men versus a similar kind of setup, like thousands of men versus like several, or like tens of thousands versus like not tens of thousands, but a very large number of enemy units versus a very small number. And he completely decimated them because he went in when they were celebrating and drunk, and you just hit them when they're at nighttime at the camp. And then with Custard here, it's like sort of like the same scenario, but completely cocks it up, right?
I couldn't tell you.
Don't know.
I think he got overrun. He was in a valley, wasn't he, at the time? Custer was.
Yeah.
In a strategically bad place, and it was his ego that led him into it.
I also read, I might be wrong on this, but I'm sure I read that the Sioux or whoever they are, the Cheyenne and these different, they don't like each other, the tribes, so they don't fight. They just sort of avoid each other, and they all got together for the first time in many, many decades to beat him, to beat Custer, because Custer was just, he was a maniac, wasn't he? He was just killing everybody, wasn't he? And they knew that he was on his way, and apparently it's the first time they ever spoke to each other for decades. These tribes, they ambushed him, killed everybody, and then just went their way again. Never spoke again.
Yeah,
common enemy, you know. But he was going to run for president, wasn't he, Custer?
Yes. Yep.
And he's
Go ahead.
I think he was only 37 when he was killed.
He wasn't too old. Yeah. Yeah.
But he was not a nice guy, was he?
He started the whole gold rush in South
Did he?
Dakota. Yeah.
Oh, right.
He went out there and surveyed the land and went back to the Senate and announced there was gold in them there hills.
Oh, right.
And it was all Indian reservation. They shoved them off and just kind of took over the land. That's why the Indians were
Against him.
yeah, campaigning against him. Yeah.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, he was an ex-Civil War veteran, if I remember right, and they sent out to the West because he needed the action. So he
bit of a junkie on it, wasn't he?
Yeah, regular Patton, you know.
Yeah,
that's some folks get bred for it, and that's all that they want. So once they get a taste of it.
So that one battle with Oda and Nobunaga was 2,000 to 3,000 men roughly versus 25,000, and he trounced them.
Wow.
Yeah. Can you imagine?
Well, this was the Last Stand was a hardcore rout. They got him. He was in a valley he wasn't supposed to be in, at a strategically bad location, and the natives just took advantage of it and then just mowed him right over.
Because they weren't as stupid as they thought they were.
Exactly.
They're very smart people, aren't they?
Yep.
Wow.
We often talk about like comics and like like original stories and stuff like that, but there are a lot of really good historical stuff like this, and Oda and Nobunaga's battle, and a bunch of other different ancient court, and I don't know, it can a whole crap ton of stuff you can do that would make decent comics.
That's why you've got Two-Fsted Tales here. Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, you can also play a little bit with history as well, because history books don't include everything, so you can add a little bit of character or flair to it.
Yeah, the thing with the ECs, though, they tried to be as historically accurate as they could for the time,
Yeah.
So a lot of this is school level education type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, once they get into those books on the Civil War, they wanted them to use it as a book in high school, because I think there's only 3 issues that were printed, but there was supposed to be 6 total, and they ended the line before they could get the other 3 done. But it was going to cover the entire Civil War.
Damn.
Once you get into it, it gets really detailed.
Why does Custer want them to shoot the horses?
Their horses are
so the Indians don't get them.
Yeah.
Custer's sending his brother's troop and Captain Yates along the ridge. I guess will form a skirmish line on the ridge. The horses, Custer wants us to shoot the horses. Jimmy, this is the end. Poor dumb brute, poor innocent dumb brute. Can't be scared, can't be scared. Maybe Major Reno will help us. Maybe General Terry will come.
It just seems if you're surrounded, you wouldn't waste a bullet on that horse, would you?
No, you wouldn't think so.
I mean, what would you care if you were dead and somebody, acquired your horse?
Didn't want them crazy savages to have an advantage, I guess. I don't know.
I think it's because it blocks line of sight. Right?
Oh, it could be too.
And horses moving around could add additional chaos to the battle.
You could also use the carcass for cover.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you could eat it when you're hungry that night.
Like a tauntaun. Yeah. Tuck somebody up into it.
Hide inside it, yeah. I thought this smelled bad on the outside. That's one of the greatest things in that film. When Harrison Ford says that. Yeah. Did you see the mad version of that, by the way, when on Hoth, when the X-wing fighters find them, they've got the swimming trunks on because he's using the power of the Force to create a beach and sunshine on the snow planet.
Funny.
Oh, there goes Custer. He got it.
I think this seems a little bit more rushed than the last one. It is, but still beautiful stuff. Look at this panoramic scene here.
Oh. Anybody down?
Many fine prizes: army pistols, carbines, cavalry boot tops, jackets, and a red checkered bandana that the main character was wearing.
So that's what I'm talking about. The whole, you can see the last couple panels on the first page there about, adding in, flair to it, right? You still got the historical accuracy, but like there's no idea, like we had no idea what this individual would be thinking, right?
Right.
Which, makes the story elements and stuff come together.
Jiminy, I sure would like to see them all again, just once more anyhow, but I guess I won't.
I wonder how many times this guy says Jiminy. He says it every balloon nearly.
Trying to add to the flavor.
Well, there you go.
Middle pages again. Yep. Everything ties back to that bandana. Now for D-Day.
Look at that. John
Severin
Severin again. Yeah.
Taking it out.
Wow.
Yep.
I'll tell you what, he's never been to Normandy. There's no mountains that size in Normandy.
No.
It's quite flat at the beach head.
A hard ridge off of the beach, though, wasn't there?
Oh yeah. You got the sea. You got like a seawall and things like that. Yeah, you do have it. The terrain does go up, but not like that.
But not like this. Yeah.
That looks more like Iwo Jima.
Okay. Yeah, it does.
That's an explosion, I think.
It's not. It's an explosion on the rock.
Is that a rock? Okay. So
Yeah, it's a rock. That is a rock. There's a couple of explosions up here, a couple over there.
Okay.
It's a hill.
My mistake.
Love the splashes here, though. Little touch of dual shade back here. Very light lines here for the smoke as they come out. Just enough to drop it back. Not more heavier influence here.
I like the explosion on the right where it's just the water. It's the water and all the splashes coming up. That's really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Normandy doesn't look anything like that.
No.
It says at the top where they're looking too. If you can flip the page back, we're looking at
Point de Mo, du Ho.
Where is it? Is it?
You're looking at France. You're looking at an air and naval bombardment. You're looking at a very special event. For this is a day that the world has been waiting for. The 6th of June, 1944, D-Day.
This water's not very good, is it?
Oh, it's pretty good. Here's this.
The splash is good, but it looks that's not the best I've seen.
Yeah.
There is that thing at Point de Hoc in Normandy.
Is there?
Yeah.
It said they tried to be as accurate as possible because they'd get called out on it. They were aiming for an older audience. I'm sure they knew that the story would be read by a few people that were there.
There were high places because they fired those grappling hooks, didn't they, up and things like that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. You can visit de la Pointe de Hoc, which is it's
probably a scenic lookout anymore.
Yeah, it's a point of interest on the thing,
Yeah. Great, couple great faces there.
Maybe that's why they put that in there, because they're like, Normandy was flat. And they're like, oh wait, here, let's put the info thing.
Yeah. They're all coming in on a U-boat. Floosh. Frooshed. Couple of froosh. There's the grappling hooks you were talking about.
Yep. I didn't know that the landing craft fired them. I thought they were done from the beach. But what do I know?
Might have been put out there to secure the craft, like an anchor.
Yeah, it makes
Well, they
sense.
don't do that. They just get off. No, they don't do that. They just get off. Then the craft goes back for the next 60 blokes or whatever's on it.
Yeah.
They don't wait. They don't anchor. They just sit in target, aren't they?
I think it maybe it has to do with the fact that they have to take that point and it's particularly steep, so they need the boat as an anchor to deploy those.
Yeah, that could be right. Yeah,
rope
like I
thingies.
said. Yeah.
When they most likely pre-planned it too, based on certain squads going to certain points. So you gentlemen got the worst job. Here you go.
Careful, Corporal. The brass didn't figure on the bombardment, making shell holes on the landing beach. There, take up the slack, men. I'll climb the toggle rope first. When I get up on top, I'll haul up them rope ladders and secure them almost to the top. And look out below. Well, we didn't figure on the grapnel coming out of that, did we, men? He's got one in his hand.
Kind of reminds me a little bit about the what's his face, that movie with Andrew Garfield in it, where he's the
yeah, is it Hacksaw Ridge?
Yeah, Hacksaw Ridge.
Yeah.
It's a nice drawing of a Jeep, that, isn't it?
Yep. It's focus of the story. It says so right there. Jeep. Named after the character, the alien in Popeye.
Jeep.
Mm-hmm. Get the thick line work here. This is Jack Davis.
Yeah.
Again, just kicking it out.
So he's got the machine gun mounted in the right place.
Yeah, like the Rat Patrol.
That's great, isn't it? Well,
Remember that? I remember that TV show.
yeah.
Whiskey, it was two guys in a Jeep with back machine guns running through the desert.
That was you?
Two Jeeps. That was the Rat Patrol.
The Rat Patrol.
You can still find it on some of those nostalgia channels.
Right.
So it was half an hour. It's really written real well. I remember it very fondly. It's like Combat and 12 O'Clock High.
Good stuff.
Is Combat the one with the guy who was killed by the helicopter on that film set?
Gray Morrow. Not Gray
Yeah.
Morrow. It's Morrow was his last name.
Yeah, is that
Vic,
that's the guy?
Vic Morrow?
That's
Yeah.
the guy in Combat, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I enjoyed that Combat. I watched
Yeah.
that only a few years ago. It's on YouTube and everything. It's really good.
Yeah, we have some really good nostalgia channels over here. Plus Pluto and Tubi. Sometimes we'll run those. I don't know if they have a war channel or not. They probably do. But Me TV over here will play a wide variety of the good quality stuff, usually in like an entire block of Westerns, or their Saturday night block is incredible because they have a horror host that runs a schlocky movie, old schlocky sci-fi or horror movie. And then Wonder Woman, Hulk, Lou Ferrigno and Linda Carter. And then usually a Star Trek that's been remastered, so the effects are really good. It's real pretty. show. Cut though, it's kind of edited really bad. Then they show every Irwin Allen TV show that there ever was, all in a row. An episode of Lost in Space, an episode of Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, an episode of Time Tunnel, an episode of, or probably 2 episodes of Time Tunnel, an episode of Land of the Giants, all in a row.
Wow.
Then they show, there's one other show in between. It's not a Mission Impossible, but it's along that line. Then they show an episode of Thunderbirds early in the morning, about 6 in the morning.
Fantastic.
Yeah, great stuff, especially if you can't sleep.
That'll be me. I've been up since 5 o'clock.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, but my 5 is your midnight.
It's been 4 here. Yeah.
Bada.
This is why we read comics. We don't have to sleep.
Yeah, look at that sound effect.
Yeah, like Saturday afternoons, all westerns, and Sunday afternoons, I think, used to be all war stories. I don't know if it still is or not. The station runs 2 hours of MASH every day during the week, 4 episodes in a row. Carol Burnett show is on there later at night. It's a pretty decent station.
I don't have regular TV, unfortunately. I have to only have the programs and stuff that you get.
Streaming or?
Like the Netflix and all that other crap.
Well, if you have a Fire Stick, there's Pluto and Tubi. That's always fun. That's a combination of streaming and regular programming.
What's a Fire Stick?
Oh, it's like a programming stick, fits into the back of your TV. You can download a wide variety of programming like Pluto and Tubi and Crackle and Roku and that kind of stuff off of it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, no idea. Well,
Pluto, if you don't have Pluto, Pluto's worth your time. They have an entire channel dedicated to Addams Family, one for Hogan's Heroes, one for Beverly Hillbillies, one for old Doctor Who, everything Sylvester McCoy and before.
Pluto, eh?
The old runs, yeah, cut into in the original half-hour chapters, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's American though. The Canadian one is probably garbage.
Who knows? I don't know
all
what
the
you
good
got
stuff on it.
Yeah, all the good stuff on it. Bunch of old schlocky drive-in grindhouse movies available for streaming.
Nice.
You can just spend months just watching Pluto and never see the same show. There's hundreds of channels. World Poker Tour is on there. It's just a lot of stuff.
Do you play poker, Randy?
I don't play it. I watch a lot of it though. I could probably play it, but the only time I play it's during the holidays with the in-laws, and it's always a friendly game. I don't play it at the casinos or nothing.
No such thing as a friendly poker game.
It's always fun to let the father-in-law win, you know.
I'm quite good at it actually, and pool as well.
I bet you'd be good at poker. Monica says I should go and play it at the casino, but it just doesn't interest me there because I know I'll get trounced. There's too many experienced players that come in. They can smell a whale or a sucker at a moment's notice. I'd end up walking in and losing all my money real quick. Some nice explosions here. And card games don't interest me much at the casino anyway because it's leaned way too hard on the house. House always wins.
Yeah.
The odds are astronomical.
Usually with like multiple decks and stuff like that. So
yeah.
The advantage is ridiculous. Actually, I never did the job, but I took a course for blackjack dealing at the casino up in the town I used to live in. And it was like one of the only jobs available. And I didn't get the job, like the interview. Like I didn't pass the interview for whatever reason. But I did the course and was fine with doing the dealing and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I upset a table of people in the circus in Las Vegas. They were playing, what's it called when they throw the dice to get a 7?
Craps.
They were playing that. There was about 15 people around this table, and they were really going for it. And I'm like you, Randy. I don't play. I just watch. I'm fascinated by the way people behave. Anyway, I found out to my cost, almost, but I was just watching, and there was a sort of a space between the people, so I was just watching, and I leant on the table.
Oh yeah,
and they all went fucking bananas. And all these security people arrived. I thought, whoa, I didn't know. I think they sort of let me off because of my accent, They thought I was trying to disrupt it, and
You don't want to influence those dice. Yeah.
And then I walked around the corner in the same place, and they have those rows and rows and rows of one-armed bandits.
Slot machines, yeah.
Slot machines, yeah. And there was about 20 of them in a row. And there was a woman at the far end, obviously playing a couple of them. And I just put some money in the first one at the other end of the row and pulled it.
Oh, yeah.
She went berserk because she was already playing it, and I didn't know.
Yeah.
She was playing the whole line.
Yeah, it's a quick way to lose a lot of money.
Oh, it's a quick way to lose your life, the way they're so serious about it.
Oh, yeah.
I used to like going to casinos because they used to give you free drinks and free food and free breakfast and and you go like particularly early in the morning, before 10, you get up, you go to the casino, and you get like all you can eat breakfast with mounds, bacon, and like they be like top quality chefs making and stuff. And you go play the slots, and you just kind of go the penny slots or whatever. And you play like every 10 minutes, and they just bring you a free drink, and you your phone.
Well, they did that when I was there. We had breakfast, and I don't eat a lot of big breakfast, and they watch these people in front of us, and they were having roast beef and all sorts of stuff. And it was about 7:30 in the morning.
Some of the buffets in those casinos are legendary. All the top chefs and the best food that you can ever imagine.
A big pile of mashed potatoes. I bet this guy didn't eat for a week. He just went and sat in front of his machine and just pulled this one-armed bandit thing.
Yeah, even the casinos around here had legendary buffets until the bug hit. They yanked them all out, and now half of them don't even have them back.
Right.
Still,
Are there any that still do the buffets and free drinks and stuff?
Yeah, there's some of them that have started them back up again.
Oh, nice.
It's good to see it. You have to earn points by playing, or else it's the meals are just horrible expensive. To go into the buffets are like $25-$30 a person.
Unfortunate. But
you can work it off with if you're playing a lot. Make points if you're playing the slots a lot. You can get all sorts of amenities.
Didn't used to be like that.
That's on my list to do a book. Yeah, spank the monkey at the casinos.
Yeah, you got to do it. He gets around that guy, doesn't he?
Yeah. Oops.
He didn't get stabbed by the bayonet. He's just a medical setup.
The gun is there to hang the
Plasma,
grip.
I guess.
Yeah. Oh, sorry again.
Could just be saline.
Yeah, probably a saline drip. And in June, a Jeep driver lay on the ground receiving blood plasma in his arm.
Oh, okay.
But it was in vain. The driver was dead. The soldier was trying to start a stalled Jeep, and soon, with the repeated drain, the Jeep's electrical power waned and then failed, and all was still.
So it sort of goes back to the beginning, doesn't it?
Not a happy ending. Yeah. I think we have one more. Look at that.
Rarely is a happy ending in war.
Yeah. Nope, that was it.
That's the end.
Want to try another couple stories?
Yeah, if you want to. We got time.
No, the tank carrying is the wounded. It hit a mine.
Wow.
Yeah, there's bodies all over the place here.
It's been a big mine.
Yeah. Flimsy tank, perhaps. Checkers. Artist of the issue is Harvey Kurtzman. Look at that. Man, it's got a head of hair. You didn't keep that for long.
$1952, so he's what? He's 28 now.
Yeah. Only met him once. Harvey Kurtzman.
Wow.
Got to sit in on a talk of his. That was real fascinating. He was doing an instructional on sequential art. Had a group of us gathered around a table. He was going through a bunch of stuff. One of the best.
Yep.
Never did get an autograph from him, though. Wish I had. About the only of the EC guys I ever got an autograph from, got to talk to for a little while, is Al Feldstein. That was good. I got a couple of the science fiction EC volumes signed by him.
When was that? Back in the 80s?
Yeah, late 80s, I would figure. One of the last shows he did. Here we're looking at Severin and Elder again. Playing checkers. Up against the side of the tank. It's a little rack there. Drum, drum, rumble, 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 rumble. This is squonk. Tank guys playing checkers.
Look at that. Really, really confident, bold lettering on the bottom there, isn't it? Taking up most of the panel over the faces. Squonk. Rumble, rumble.
It's to show that the noise is loud.
Yeah, it's fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah.
Using all the devices you can to tell the story.
Getting into the tank, look out below. Oh, Kilpatrick, are you reading me? I hear you talking, Strauss. Contact. Here we go. Squonk. Rumble, rumble. Playing checkers with tanks. Rumblum. All stations. This is yellow. Objective sighted. Look at that shot. That's great.
That bottom panel there with the guy's boot, that's a fantastic panel. Next to that one there,
Here?
on the stretcher, yeah, that's fantastic, isn't it?
What a perspective, yeah.
Yeah,
Great.
it's great.
I was going to say, this looks like a promotional war poster there.
Yeah.
It looks like a familiar image. Somebody yelling instructions. There's a squank.
You can like see the either freckles or dirt or splotches.
Yeah,
That's freckles.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
freckles. Yeah.
I'm disappointed with the tanks though. They're sort of more generic, aren't they? They're not the
Yeah. Lamb.
blue.
The Angel of Mercy tank tripped the road mine. Pick those men up and load them on the lead fighting tank. And get that tank out of here. Will anti-tank gun button up. The mud has hit the fan, fellas. What a polite way.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. hit that like button, hit that love button out there. We appreciate you watching us and putting up with our conversations as we look at some incredible sequential art. Time to play checkers. Jumping into a tighter grid here. Look at that shot right there. That did it. Let's bail out of here, men. Rump.
It'd be... Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
So it'd be unfortunate to be in a tank that's exploding, but I think it'd be a lot more unfortunate to be the guy looking through the periscope as the tank exploded.
Yeah. This is all line work here. It's graduated tone.
Wow.
It's all cross-hatching. The blow. Let's get him. I see him. A little too much right. Get him. I'll do it. Click. Bam. Boom. We got it all right. That gun won't give us any more trouble. Let's go home. That whole sequence is amazing. Back to playing checkers.
Damn.
Comes the rest of the platoon. Last 3 tanks are coming back. There's the board, just like we left it. You jumped my 3 men here. 1, 2, 3, right? Now it's my move, and I jump 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That clears the board. You're out of the game. You made the same mistake back there on the Kamoa Road, Strauss. You shouldn't have jumped me. Let's go eat.
I like the way you can see where he's had his goggles on.
Yeah.
It's like he's got a mask on. Hell's Point.
Here as well. Yep.
Yeah. It's great. Like it's dusty and oily.
Yep.
Imagine the smell in those tanks.
Oh.
Couldn't have been friendly.
No, like days and days, weeks.
I tell you where it was worse on the command module on the Apollo flights.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll bet.
You know,
though I don't know. You'd think those suits would contain a lot of that smell.
But they don't wear the suits all the time.
Yeah, yeah. Everybody would be up there sweating.
Charlie Duke said to me that when they got back, they lifted up. They get off the command module into the dinghy, and they lift the dinghy up onto the aircraft carrier, onto the deck, and nobody's allowed to go near that command module except the astronauts. Right? It's still their ship, so to speak.
Okay.
And they went downstairs. Him and John Young and the other guy went downstairs and were talking, and then about an hour later, and meanwhile the command module's on the deck and the doors open. Right. Mm-hmm. So the doors open for the first time in 2.5 weeks. And he went back to get some personal items out of the command module. And when he put his head in the hatch, he said he nearly passed out with the smell.
Oh.
And that was partly his smell, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
So he says, so they left while the ship took a couple of days or whatever to get back. And they just left the command module open to let the sea air get in there, you know.
Yeah, air it out. Bell's Point, we're back to Wally Wood again. Just kicking it out. Look at that. A little bit of zipatone here.
That's a shot, too.
Strategically placed.
You can tell it's wood by that face, can't you?
Yeah.
Wow.
All line work here. A little scratch on the back of the background here. Yeah, that'd have to be scratches there. Little bit of dual shade here, just a touch.
Is it scratch that, or is it dry brush?
It could go either way, but those dots seem a little regular here.
Right.
Coming down, it looks take a pin, scratch that out here, or a razor blade and chip it out.
Right. John Romita used to do that as well, didn't he?
Back then, you had that wonderful Higgins magic black ink too, where it would harden on a board, and they were using 3-ply Bristol board at this point. And it would just get crusty on that board. It'd be real easy to go through and chip that out. Ching, 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 ching,
It's a great effect.
All the way down, probably using a razor blade. Yeah, it is. You see that a lot in this though.
Great lighting on that face as well.
Yeah, here as well too. It's just great.
But you know, it's Wally Wood.
Yeah,
it's going to be great, isn't it? Oh, look at that!
Later on, we get into a little bit of Williamson and some Frazetta work. It's just phenomenal. I don't know if it's in Two-Fsted Tales, but later in the EC line, those guys come in and just kick the walls out. Yeah, just great stuff.
And if you look at the guy at the bottom of the where you're pointing there, he's got Wally Wood legs.
Yeah, it's all line work here too.
Yeah, they be a coming. Oh yeah.
There's a couple of pieces of Zipatone there and there, but other than that, there's a little bit of shade work here. That's probably duo shade just on this one panel.
Yeah.
Look at that. It's great. The solids up against the line work back in the back, pushing that. A few birds in the sky. Just great. Bayonet line here.
I think I was reading about Ball's Point recently, how they outnumbered, but they managed to
fight it out.
Yeah.
Is it balls or bells? Pels Point.
I could be wrong though. There's so many names and dates and
yeah. Look at that. That is just incredible. That's duo shade here. Some beautiful solids. Big sound effect.
They have a fantastic video game called Holdfast. It's all like line battles and stuff, and the people that play it's like, you know, multiplayer. But the people that play it enjoy the historical reenactment aspect of it.
Sure.
So you get like unit leaders and stuff like that, and they're calling out orders and like reload, and your weapons aren't accurate at all. Like, and you're like, you have to like, you know, stuff them and then like reload and then set up and then kneel, and you know, if you're in the front or back, and then while that's happening, like a guy, like an Englishman will be coming over the hill with like, you know, with a pistol and just hitting you in the face. Or a gentleman that should be playing bagpipes, you know, and getting a little too close to you and, you know, hits you with a sword.
Yeah. This body here seems out of proportion to me. Head's too big. Maybe it's the hat making it look big.
I think you're right. I think the head's too big.
Shading's amazing on it, though.
Yeah, it is a fantastic drawing, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
He runs like Daredevil, this guy, doesn't he?
Amazingly. Wonder how that happened.
Yeah. He's got those Daredevil legs as well.
Yeah. And some Dynamo.
Yes, Dynamo. Yeah. That's the one. Yeah.
From Thunder Agents. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got same poses, I think, both here and here.
Yeah.
I'll have that action look to it, leaning forward and running. Remember as a kid getting a giant-sized Daredevil that Wood had done, where Daredevil fights the Annie-Men. There's a guy in a gorilla costume, a guy in a cat costume, and a guy in a frog costume, a guy in a hawk costume. And he had to take them all on. So it was a great issue, especially at you know, the age that I was.
Was that issue 6?
I think it was a 2-part story. They ended up reprinting it in like an annual, or it was just a straight up annual. It was all Wood though. Yeah, it was beautifully done. And they brought those characters back a couple of more times. I think they were used in X-Men 94.
Right.
As well, with Count Nefarious or something like that.
One of Wood's greatest contributions was making these costume red, wasn't it? Because that yellow and black thing that Kirby came up with was awful, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, there were a few bad costumes. as they went along. Yeah. Wood just streamlined it down and, did the obvious. He's a devil. He should be red.
Yeah.
Iconic, though.
I was thinking about as he's fighting the Ant-Man, like at least he's not distracted by their costumes.
Yeah.
Blind and all that.
That they only used that, to their advantage a couple times. Whenever he fought the chameleon would always get pissed because he'd know who he was by the sound of his heartbeat. The chameleon would switch disguises all the time, and that was a great sequence. Oh, it was later on in the run where he's fighting Chameleon. Chameleon keeps trying to get away from him, and Daredevil knows exactly who he is because he's tuned into his heartbeat. And he's like, he disguises himself, gets his ass whipped, disguises himself again, gets his ass whipped. And he's like, how does this guy able to do this? How does he know it's me? It's just classic stuff. just constant. That was a hell of a beatdown for Chameleon. More dual shade here. That fights and runs away may turn and fight another day. He that is in battle slain will never rise to fight again.
I can't specifically remember. I think the ones with the hats on the left there are they're either like
red coats.
Yeah. What do you call them? They're either battlefield engineers or dragoons or one or the other.
Forward, soldiers. The pimply-faced Yankee doodles are retreating. Crazy Yankee doodles. Run, Yankees. We'll get you yet. Blasted Yankees across the river. Shall we try to follow them, sir? Sigh, no, they've got their cannon facing us on the other side. We will camp here and wait for reinforcements. We'll get them the next time.
I like the way they keep cutting to the map so you know where they are.
Yeah. Very nice.
Is that guy? They strung him up, that guy. Is that him at the end there? So they hanged him.
They strung somebody up, yeah. This guy here, I think.
Yeah, is it Jamie he's called?
Yeah. Captured him.
And killed him.
Yep, hung him. It's a solid piece of Zipatone back here.
Yeah.
Crack. Yep. I think that's where we'll leave it.
Hey.
For the day. We'll pick up in the middle of issue number 28.
28.
Next week.
Okay.
Well, they started at 18, I think. Back then, they would keep the same numbering running. They weren't too concerned about collectability or running number ones. Folks, we want to thank you for watching us, putting up with us. We're looking at Two-Fsted Tales, the classic EC line. Some of the best by the best. We appreciate you being here and hope you had an enjoyable time as we went through this classic material. Glenn, tell folks how they can find you.
Yeah, you can find me on social media. You can find me on these podcasts on Friday and Sundays with Randy. You can also, if you go to Amazon or New Haven Publishing, you can find my book, which details my trip to see Jack Kirby at his house. If you go on Amazon again, you can get Comics Unlimited. This is issue 2. This is that Joe Staton cover I was telling you about earlier.
Yeah.
This is issue 2. Issue 14 is currently ready on Amazon. You can get that. Lots of good stuff in there, articles and artwork and all that kind of thing. And if you go to fundmycomic.com, you'll be able to pick up a copy of my Hatch annotated book, which goes through the origin and development of my cartoon character Hatch with lots of unpublished artwork in there, and you can get one of those.
All right.
Or you can get two if you want.
Whiskey, tell folks how they can find you.
Sure, you can find me on the old X there. It's on the bottom left. If you take a look there, you type that into Google, something might come up. And if it does come up, it might look something like this. Get that centered. And if you scroll through my stuff, you might see some models and 3D stuff and miniatures and all kinds of things that I make online.
All right.
And if you need something made, miniature or 3D model or what have you, just send me a message and I'll do what I can to get you hooked up.
Cool. And folks, right now you're looking at a 2-page spread by Mr. Russ Leach for the Shadow Kingdom. It's a book that I had the pleasure of adapting the classic Robert E. Howard story, and we've turned it into a 70-page graphic novel that we'll be offering on fundmycomic.com here at the 1st of March. We want to thank Russ for trying to hang on as much as he could today with his spotty internet, and wish him well. You'll see more Russ probably Sunday morning, and we'll talk a little bit more about this. But if you want more news about the Shadow Kingdom book and more stuff that about what Russ is doing, go over and sign up for the mailing list over at russleach.com. It's russleach.com. Go over there and sign up for that and be ready in March when we offer this book. It's going to be a really, really pretty product, and it's a great, great story. I'm telling you, it'll be a lot of fun to. It's been printed a couple of times here and there, but nobody's ever done a faithful adaptation of it, and ours will be as faithful as we possibly can get, including a lot of the prose from Howard himself out of the story. Then we'll reprint the story in the back of the book as well, so that you can compare it to our work and see how faithful it is.
You could have some fun lettering that, aren't you?
I'm looking forward to it in a very worried way. Yeah. There might be a 5-point font running all the way through it, but we'll get it lettered anyway.
Yeah.
You might need a magnifying glass, but no.
I'm going to say give a free magnifying glass with every issue.
There you are. Yeah. Be a magic lens. Yeah. And folks, I've been your host, Randy Zimmerman. You can find my material over at aerocomics.store, where you can find books like Herobot Zero, Calico Shard, Paragon, that I've either written and drawn both, as well as a lot of other people's works over there. We're very proud of the people that are associated with Aero Comics at the moment. If you go over to fundmycomic.com, we've got AR13L, the Little Mermaid campaign running, so over 19,000 on that, and that's also going to be a great product, as well as Craig White's Soul Tack over there that's still available for your purchasing, and that's a great soap opera or space opera story, I should say, that is well worth your time. And everything that we do, we try to do at the highest quality books possible in order to entertain you and give you something to read, especially in these trying times. So love to entertain you folks. We love doing this. We really enjoy being here. Sunday morning also, we do the Sunday Funnies at 9 a.m. And this Sunday, we're finishing up a run of Wednesday comics from DC. Some of the great artists that were available at that time, putting together fantastic Sunday, full-size Sunday pages of superheroes and other DC IPs in a newspaper. That was a great experiment that DC did for 3 short months and put together into a coffee table book. The artwork and the products there that they did is phenomenal. Artwork by Allred and Joe Kubert and so many great artists. Such a different, wide variety of work that you'll really enjoy yourself. That'll be Wednesday Comics Part 3 coming up on Sunday Funnies, 9 a.m. this weekend. So this Sunday. So go over there and enjoy that as well. We do appreciate you being here today. And everybody else that watches us after the fact, because that's where the majority of our listeners are. This is Comics by Night. It's 5 a.m. where I am and where Whiskey is. It's about 1 p.m. where
midday.
10
coming up to midday. Yeah, 5 hours.
Where Glenn and Russ are, and we love doing this. We love looking at this stuff. It's the best of the best, and there's so much great sequential artwork out there for you to discover. So please go out and do so. If you find some great stuff like that, let us know if there's something that you want to see us cover, or better yet, try to give comics away as gifts for to your friends and relatives, birthdays, holidays, whatever. And just even to get them off your back, give them a comic book to read. You know, there's so much great stuff out there, such great entertainment, and we all love this business. We love this art form. That's why we do this. So we deeply appreciate you being here. We'll be back again Friday morning, 5 a.m. for more Comics by Night, more Two-Fsted Tales on the way. There is some phenomenal stuff still yet to be seen just on this title, let alone the entire rest of the EC line. Or we've all got a lot of stuff to share and show off.
We've got that Halo Jones to come as well.
Yep, and Halo Jones will be coming up within the next couple of weeks. That last book, we'll get that done. I just want to read it first, so I just haven't taken the time to do that yet. Folks, take care. See you soon.
See ya,
folks.
Try to leave this business in better shape than what you found it. Nobody needs to be out there trolling or participating in this crab bucket drama, schoolyard BS that's out there. Comics deserve better than that. So go out there and do your best and try to leave this industry in better shape than what you found it. See you soon. Sunday, 9 a.m. Fridays, again at 5 a.m. We'll be back. Take care, everyone. Thanks again for watching.
See you, folks.
The views and opinions expressed within the video content found on the Indie Comics Network are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of the Indie Comics Network or its sponsors.
If you look at something and there's nothing there, what's the difference of figuring out what it was in the first place?
What was that? This is not a charade. We need total concentration. Now, once again, this time, with theory.
Some men just want to watch the world burn.
Can't nobody tell me nothing.
How dare you?
Get off my lawn.
Bye, Jack.
We really shook the pillars of heaven, didn't we, Wayne?
No horseshit, Jack.
No horseshit.
Taste the biscuit. Taste the goodness of the biscuit. Taste the honey sauce. Taste the goodness of the biscuit with the honey sauce.